Hey, 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 coming to you right now. Look out. Adjust my glasses here. Get everything ready. Welcome to Twitch. We got a little Twitch stream coming up. Here we go. Here we go. Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Syme here, BSDM, also known as Evo D Gamer. We had our first session of Pathfinder 2 a few months ago. Some of the guys in our local board gaming group said, hey, we want to play a role-playing game. And I tried to steer them towards Pathfinder 1 and D&D 3.5 because that's what I was playing. And they said, no, we want the latest and the greatest. We want D&D 5 or we want Pathfinder 2. So I whipped out the beginner box and I read the adventure and I tried to capture a few things otherwise. But that's it. I didn't read the whole book for the player's guide. I didn't read the whole book for the GM's guide. And we just rolled into it. I've been doing D&D for a few years and Pathfinder for a few years. And I started with D&D 1 and 2 and all that jazz. But what I found and what I should have known better, what did I say in the title? Wish I would have known before the Pathfinder 2 beginner box session begins. Prior to that, kind of surface level, overlooking everything, Pathfinder 2 gets rid of the ability scores. You don't have your like 0 to 18, 3 to 18 for strength, intelligence, wisdom, dex, con, charisma anymore. All you have is your modifier. You got your +0, +1, +2, +3. I'm like, well, simple. I hate going to the book, looking it up. All right, 16 is plus, I don't even know what it is, +2. 17 is +2. 18 is +3. I think that's right. I don't know. It doesn't matter. In Pathfinder 2, all we keep track of are the modifiers. +2, +1, +0, -2, -1, minus a dozen. It's simpler. The second thing is the 3-action economy. You've got 3 actions, boom, 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 and 1 reaction. So you can move, attack, and move. You can attack, attack, attack. You can do whatever you want. Some of the actions take 2 actions. Some of the actions take 3 actions. But a lot of them are just a single action. And there's still some free actions and whatnot in there. And then a reaction can happen on other people's turns. It's kind of like a readied action, but it's an optional reaction that you can use. So you get 1 reaction per turn. And the last one, pre-game time, is gold is worth a whole lot more. So if you convert from D&D 3 to Pathfinder 2, you'll be wealthy! I don't think you can do that. Let's get into the rigmarole. Oh yeah, I got a little clip here on the actions. Let's see if we can make the right screen transition. Yeah, so here's the actions. You get 3 actions and 1 reaction. They got little symbols for everything. Here's the symbol for actions. There's 1 action, there's 2 actions, and a 3-action symbol. And then the little reaction symbol for that. Or, oh, I just learned something right here on the screen with you today. There is the reaction or the free action symbol. I saw that before and I didn't know what it was. So, as I teach the rest of our session today, I'm going to try to delineate between beginner box and not beginner box. Beginner box is a scraped down set of rules. They're only about that thick, the DM guide, and that thick for the player manual. And half the DM guide is just the adventure and half of it's just monsters and magic items and stuff. Very typical. And just the root rules. The first one is not from the root rules, and that is delay. Page 416 in the player core. Delay. Delay. Oh, where did it go? 416? Delay. Page 416. Interact, aid. Oh, I think I screwed something up here. Delay. Oh, it's right there in front of me. Can't you read, Brian? No, I'm BSDM. Get it straight. Delay. We came up during our gaming session, so we kind of applied my old D&D 3.5 rules to it, but it's really about the same. For delay, it gets to be your turn in the initiative order, and when it's your turn, you decide to delay. So you can delay to go at a different time. When you delay, you get to go between another monster or player's turn. And I was just reading this. This sounds very... If you delay an entire round without returning to the initiative order, the actions from the delayed turn are lost and your initiative doesn't change. Okay, so we have a table rule different than that. Our table rule, our house rule, is you can delay for as long as you want. So you can just keep delaying. The actual rule book, and this is not in the beginner's box, this is in the core rules, is if you delay and you're at 5th out of 10 and it gets down to 10, you just drop and you're back to 5th again. Our house rule, which I much prefer, allows you to just keep going. So you can just come into play anytime you want between other players. So delay, you can see, is a free action. It's got the hollow image on there. The next one that came up is ready in action. This is not in the beginner's box rules, but basically a readied action costs 2 actions to do, and then it is a single size action. And so you prepare an action that's going to happen, and it's not between turns, it's whenever the trigger happens. So when you set up a readied action in Pathfinder 2, you set up a condition. If the troll gets up, attempts to get up off the floor, I strike it with my torch to burn it some more. So it's the troll's turn. He starts to get up as part of his turn. Boom, that's the triggered action. Now I get to take my readied action and perform that against the troll. You prepare to use an action that will occur outside of your turn. Choose a single action or free action that you can use and designate a trigger. Then your turn ends then. If your trigger happens before the start of your next turn, you can use the chosen action, provided you still meet the requirements to use it. You can't ready a free action that already has a trigger. Free actions that have triggers are reactions, basically. If you have a multiple attack penalty, your readied action is an attack action. Your readied attack takes the multiple attack penalty. So the multiple attack penalty is if you attack once, it's at your regular attack. If you attack a second time, it's at -5. And if you attack a third time, it's at -10. Unless you have an agile weapon, which changes all that altogether. So that was the second rule that came up. The third rule that we addressed in our gaming session is back on 416 in the A's, and that is aid. You can help your teammates do something, and it's a reaction. So you see the little swirly whirly allows you to help them climb, help them fight, help them untie a knot, help them do anything that they have to do a roll for. You can use an aid reaction. You attempt a skill check or an attack roll of the type decided by the GM. The typical DC is 15, but the GM can play with that and put it all wherever it wants. If you succeed, you give them a +1. If you critically succeed, you give them a +2 on their roll when they're actually performing the action that you are aiding with. Any more up here? Nope, that's the end of it down there. If you fail, they take a -1. You bumped them when they were trying to climb up the wall, and you caused it to be more difficult for them to hang on. So aid is a handy one that'll be used quite a bit in the game, and we used it quite a bit trying to disable traps and open locks. Then we got to the unfortunate situation that always happens. What do we say? Level 1, baby. We say it lots. Level 1, baby. Level 1. And that's when level 1 characters can't do much and they die a lot. And guess what? Yes, it happened in our game. So if we go to 412 in the rule book, come on, let me Here we go. 412. I don't need this sidebar open anymore here. Conditions related to dying. So in Pathfinder 2, 0 hit points is the bottom. Once you hit 0, you are dying. The first time you get down there, you're hit 0 points, you're dying 1. And you have a -4 on your AC, your perception, and your reflex. You're blinded and you're off guard, and you're dying. You're prone, you drop everything you're holding, and you're dead. If you're unconscious because you're dying, you can't wake up. This isn't the best description. I had a better one on another page. Let's look at this again. If you're unconscious and have more than 1 hit, if you're unconscious at 0 hit points but not dying, if you're unconscious but dying. Okay, this will cover it. You can't wake up as long as you have 0 hit points. If you're restored to 1 hit point or more from healing, you lose dying and you lose unconscious, and you can act normally on your next turn. Anytime you're more than 0 hit points, you're like, I'm okay. Except if you just came from dying, you are now in the wounded 1 category. So now you've been seriously injured during a fight and you lost the dying condition. You went from dying 1 to wounded 1. So now you're wounded 1. If you get struck again, now you're dying 1 plus the wounded 1. Now you're dying 2. If you ever reach dying 4, you're dead. Game over. That's it. While you're dead, every time it comes around to your turn, you need to make a... this is a bad one. Let me do a quick check here. Let's see, dying. There we go, 411. Oh, let's just go up a page. There we go, a recovery check. So if you're in the dying condition at the start of each of your turns, when you die, you go to the initiative order where your death happened. So if the orc whacked you over the head and you're dead, you go to the orc's initiative just before the orc's initiative and you're dying. If while you're dying, you need to, when it comes your turn, you roll a recovery check. It's a flat d20, 10 plus your current dying value. So if you're dying 1, you need to roll 11 or better. And if you roll 11 or better, you have success. And you go to dying 0. If you're dying 2, you go to dying 1. If you have a critical success, which I don't know how you do it, because it's 10 plus your current dying value, so it's hard to get 22 on a flat check. But if you did make a critical success, 10 plus, your dying decreases by 2. If you fail, and you don't get that 11 or 12 or 13 to recover, then your value goes down. If you critical fail, maybe you needed 12 and you rolled a 1 then, or a 2, then your dying value increases by 2. If you take damage while you're dying, your dying condition goes up by 1, or 2 if it's a critical damage that's been done to you. And we talked about going from wounded to that, and death and instant death. There are ways you can die instantly without reaching dying 0 first. And I know that sounds a lot like D&D 1, D&D regular, and yeah. So one of the things that came up that I should have had in the introduction is critical. So if you roll a 1, whatever you're doing decreases a value. You've got success, you've got critical success, you've got failure, you've got critical failure. And if you roll a 1, you go down 1 level of success. If you roll a 20, you go up 1 level of success. And a critical is 10 You have to exceed something by 10. So whether it's 10 on the high side, then you achieve a critical hit or a critical success. If you miss it by 10 on the low side, you have a failure on that. So, all this to be said, we were going through, made it about 1/4 of the way through the beginner box in about 3.5 hours, and it was a blast. Except, we used up all our healing potions, we used up most of our cleric stuff, and we didn't find the rule until the end of our session, and after our session discussions, that you want to know when you're playing level 1, baby. And that's on page 242. And that doesn't look like 242. That's 24. 242. And it's right at the bottom here. Treat wounds. Treat wounds is the critical magic pill for level 1, baby, and the beginner's box. 1, you need a healer's toolkit. 2, you can spend 10 minutes, so you're not going to do this in battle or in fighting, but between the fights, between the traps, between the adventure, you can treat wounds for 10 minutes. And then you can't do it for another hour, so you need to wait another hour before you can do it again. But the healing is huge compared to my experience in role-playing games. You roll a medicine check, get a DC of 15, and the DM may adjust it, because the DM makes it into a story. It's their job to make a good story to make you have fun. I'm going to force you to have some fun here today, and you are going to like it. If you succeed at your check, you can continue to grant additional healing. The neat part is the healing amount. Normal healing is 2d8 hit points. So that's like a regular, not heal, cure. That's a regular cure. If you critical fail, you cause 1d8 points of damage. If you have a critical success, so you rolled a 25 with your healer's kit and all the bonuses, you do 4d8. And both of these remove the wounded condition. So if they're wounded 1 or 2 or 3, it wipes it out. And it gets even more crazy. If you're an expert, because you've taken on the expert skill level, you can do a DC 20 check to increase the hit points by 10. And if you're a master of medicine, you can do a DC 30 check to increase the hit points gained by 30. And if you're legendary, you can do a DC 40 to do the hit points by 50. So that's really, really a lot of healing. And that's going to save a lot of the spells. You can rely on your cleric's spells to do that emergency work during the fight, during the battle. And you can leave this for between the battles instead of, okay, battle's over, let's cast some spells and use them up. This helps the game flow a little bit better, makes the healing better, makes level 1 better. We may have avoided that death learning experience had we known about treat wounds. So treat wounds, I believe, is part of the beginner box. I hate to waste time on a call, but I think we're doing better on time. Oh yeah, I lived a little bit faster. Last time I recorded this, I did it with no sound whatsoever. It was a real bummer. So if I go over here, open my beginner's box, Game Masters, Hero's Handbook. Let's try this. Oh yeah, it's right there. So yes, treat wounds is right there. Page 56 of the beginner's box. DC 15 medicine check, critical success 48, regular success 2d8 hit points, healed. So that is our learning, and treat wounds is like the key of it all. What else is different? Initiative's different. You use your perception or your stealth check to roll your initiative to get into things. But there'll be more videos just like this to come. You will be able to learn with us, learn from us as I delve into Pathfinder 2 for the first time. I did play a couple months ago on a Fantasy Grounds gamer night or gamer day, and that was fun. And it was even more fun to get into these rules, screw up royally, learn from it, and share it with you. You be blessed, and we'll see you around the table.